So Matt, you were in the law space for what, 5 years? You moved on to Shell for then 6 years, and then you co-founded Cumulus for the last several years. I mean, there's pivoting there. So what happened along the way? What inspired you to each move? Challenges, successes? Tell me everything.
Yeah, it's been a crazy winding road. My wife would say I have a lot of trouble saying no to doing things, so that's why I just keep saying yes. But in reality, there is a theme that goes through it. So I graduated law school after working at a firm for a bit. I realized I wanted to be a lot more on the business commercial side than the legal side. And I started working at an aerospace company here in Boston called Draper Laboratory that does control systems for aircraft and spacecraft. And that's where I really started gravitating to more commercial roles and very much about risk mitigation. And that's what a control system on an aircraft does. It makes sure that when something goes wrong, that the aircraft can still land safely. Great example is the recent problem with Boeing, where they had a door panel fly off of an Alaska Airlines flight. And as bad as that was, nobody was hurt and the plane was able to land. And that's because of all the engineering that goes into it. So that's where I started thinking about risk and mitigation of risk, and where I got the best advice that I ever received in my career, which was there are two types of people in the world: those who try to avoid all risk and those who try to manage risk. And I've really thought a lot about that, because no matter what we do, and this certainly applies to construction, you can try to avoid all risk, but it means you're never going to take and get really good opportunities either. Or you could think about how to manage risk so that it's proportional to what the opportunity is. And that's something that I've carried with me through my whole career. So I was working at Draper after the Deepwater Horizon disaster, the BP oil spill. A number of energy companies started working with us on how do we apply aerospace concepts around safety and risk mitigation to oil and gas to make these facilities safer, both for people and the environment. And that's how one thing led to another. I wound up at Shell. I was hired, one other person and I, to start a center that was all about doing that, bringing in these concepts from aerospace and other similar industries to make facilities safer. And that was really the pivot point that led to that. Never thought I'd go work in oil and gas, but it was
no shame, it's a judgment-free podcast, Matt.
It just was not on my, it just wasn't on my roadmap. And it wasn't something I thought about, but the technical challenges are incredible, and the impact on the world, the environment, people is incredible. And if I had an opportunity to apply a pretty unique set of experiences and skills to make that better, it's something I couldn't say no to. And it was a great opportunity. Every part of it was a great opportunity. That's also where I got into construction, because I very quickly gravitated to working on major capital projects, because that's where we wanted to apply a lot of these applications around making things safer and more productive, more efficient, and a higher work quality. And that eventually led to leaving Shell in 2018 to start Cumulus. So that was a long answer, a long winding road, but it does make sense.
It's actually a straight road if you think about it, and you're in full swing. Okay, that's super interesting, and I love the piece of advice you had around there about mitigating risk, not totally minimizing it. Right. Well, there are people like me who just go full steam ahead and don't think of the risk at all.
Just go barreling headfirst into whatever comes at them.